boys, and girls, dudes, and dudettes. Okay, what we're looking at here is my pre-evolution cab. Not the best example because this one I actually never finished because it was so bad. I tried UV resin on this, painted on to get away, to get rid of all the layer lines and stuff like that. But now, because of the nature of 3D printing, we had to print this cab with the roof on like that. Okay, otherwise it went all fuzzy inside because it had the roof on. So we printed it like that, or the other way around or whatever, but we printed it like that. So done like that, it was nice and smooth on the inside because I built proper interiors for these. So I don't want the inside to be too bad. But now obviously with this front bit that needs to be glued on and the back bit, you always had these lines. Doesn't matter how well you try and glue it, it was always a problem. And because of this, like it is here, you can now see the detail on there. Now this is a very good, this was an ASA body. Very, very smooth. But if you look at the light, let's see if I can catch it, you can still see the layer lines there. So it has to be sanded. Now, with this sort of detail here, one can't get to all the places and all the nooks and crannies. So yeah, it was always a problem. And whenever there was a picture taken of the damn loco, it was always from the front. And what irritated the crap out of me was, you see the layer lines there, these skew ones here. Now, between you can see how the UV resin actually pulled on this one. That didn't work out well. So this here around the light as well, very fuzzy, very wiry. There was nothing we could do about it. It always bugged me. So by the time that I had this cab finished, the windows was another problem. To paint them, now this is a dark color, so you can't really see how badly they are painted, but it's a mission to paint them because it's very difficult to mask, because you've got little things there for the wipers and this and that. So yes, it was never, you see here as well, that's really, really bad. The later ones that I did for Henk and that, they were much better because I bought a very, very small little Proxen sander that I could get in here, but there were still pieces that wasn't completely sanded away. And I think all of you guys that 3D print would know that you always want a thing to look not 3D printed. And this was the nose. We had the same problems there. So we always printed this in two pieces. It was the front bit and then this bit, and you glue it together, and then you get gaps like that. You see here, that gap there. It is an absolute monster to mask properly. I am a bad oak with masking tape as it is. I've actually got some of that masking putty, there it is over there, that I want to try now when I do the stripes again. But that's all wara. We decided to redesign the whole thing to make it A, easier for me, and B, better looking, because there was, how can I put it, serious lack of detail here. The bolt heads and everything was like, it got either sanded away or pulled away or whatever. So right, then we decided to scrap that whole thing, and like the video I posted you last night, I've got the prototype cab came tonight. I will show you that now, and how that's going to work. But let me show you the nose. This is the resin nose now, so it's all one piece. Now that is chalk and cheese from that other one. You see all the handles are in there, all the details nice and crisp, and it's this is what it's supposed to look like. Everything is nice and pronounced, and you can see on the other side, it's just way different. Okay, so this is the nose. This is going on there now, and then the cap. So Fiona decided to do it like this. All right. So now we print it with the roof off. That's lying one side. And now we have a bare shell. I can sand the crap out of this because there's no detail on it. Everything was taken off. Now, from a paint point of view, that's also very good, because here's the window. Now, this can be painted. There's an insert, and you actually know 3D printing will know you always have that problem there. Now, I sand that away with a file. It takes a lot of time, and I get it to look like that sort of thing there. But there's always strings there, that you can do nothing about. And now with this setup here, when that goes in there like that, now I can actually paint this separately and put the window in, and then just boop, put it in there. Paint it and everything nice and ready. It will look absolutely stunning. But I just sat here with a piece of sanding paper now, and I just started on this side, and check how smooth that is. This side I haven't done yet. You see the difference? So I will get this as smooth as a baby's bottom. Now, that piece I showed you between the windscreens, I sanded this as well. Look, I don't need to sand here because there's a toolbox here. Well, a sandbox is there. But you can see already there's no lines there. It's nice and smooth. Whatever is left here will be covered by the door in any case. Now, if you look at the door here, you will see that it was also very fuzzy, and it was printed on the thing, and also had the lines. This one I got fairly okay because it had that stuff on it. But if you look at the back one, you get that knobbliness almost, because you try and hide the lines, which is really not what you want to do. See the layer lines there as well, these skew ones. So yeah, this will work perfectly. And a couple of things are going to happen now. I can get to everything, so I will sand this tomorrow smooth as a baby's bottom, somewhere with a mouse. And because the roof is off now, when I do the interior, I can actually work from the top. So I can basically attach this to the chassis and just insert my floor and my interior afterwards, which will make things a hell of a lot easier. I'm also contemplating, because she printed it like this, with a little island in the middle here, so it just clips on. Have I got it the right way? Yeah, like that. Yeah. To maybe put magnets in it. So if you want to show your buddies your lovely interior, you can, because you can just take the roof off, which I think will be a nice touch. However, there's going to be a wire attached to the roof. So I don't know. I will still see if I can maybe work around that here, and attach it maybe here to the side or whatever. Yeah, I'll still get there. When I get there, I'll get there, and I will fix that. So this is now this is the roof. Now this can also be sanded nice and smooth. We also changed the angles to be more prototypically correct, so that you don't have that overhang there. Okay, so it's going to run straight from there up. So your angle is quite a bit steeper, which looks better. Now, the other thing that I want to show you now, all the little goodies that goes with it is resin printed. Now, if you look at this frame for the side window, And the detail we could get away with here, look at that bolt head there. It's a hexagon. There, it's just a knob. And all this fuzziness here will be gone, because this will now sit on the side here like that, nicely painted. I can hold it in my hand and paint it, which is perfect. Look, I've only got one hand here now, but you see stuff like that. Look how nice and crisp it is. And then also the same for the front. The doors, I mean, if you look at that door and you look at this door, it's chalk and cheese. Absolutely chalk and cheese. Now, I do little brass wipers now. So this here, that little thing there, I will do separate now. I'm actually speaking to Carl tomorrow. I want to see if he can't maybe edge me something that I can just solder the brass to. That's a thing that we'll worry about when we get there. Then the biggest thing that always bugged me, okay, we need to modify this. This whole thing here was always, like I said, very wiry and wara. But also I need to put a lens in here. So normally I cut this off and then carefully, then put the lens in and put it back. It's crap. Now, check how crisp this is as opposed to that. Now, Fiona is now doing today, she did the new one, where we're going to cut that bit off. I'll glue that on. So I can put the lens in, put the lights in on the inside, put the lens in, nice and clean, and then just glue that bit over it. And boomy boom. End of story. So I am so excited. You know, this is the next level up. Everything that always used to get sanded away or touched by the sander and also lose its edges like this is now just a little thing like that. I can sand that to the hell and back, and there's the insert. So that just goes in there. Well, like that. No, like that. No, like that. Yeah, sorry, man. Stupid. Anyway, all right. Yeah, so it's little things like that I think will change the whole look of the thing. We're busy working on the body. So all the doors now that used to be printed on the body, like the one I did for Yaku, that last orange one, we must put the separate doors on. That will be done again. So I can sand that body nice and smooth. I've got a buyer for this one already, which is lovely. It's a 35 class GM in Gulf Red. So yes. And Old Ati that I'm building it for, he's a very good oak, and I think he would like what we're going to do here. So his will be the first evolved one. So, all right, there's a hell of a lot of extra parts and stuff that you need to worry about and need to keep in bags and stuff like that, but I think this is going to be very good. Also, another thing, you asked that 3D print, this is Spec G, but we got a new one now. That's this grey one. I don't know. Tim and them will know what it's called. But hell, as opposed to the old dark grey one I had, this stuff sands so nicely. I mean, when I started with 120 on the mouse, I mean, the dust comes off this thing. And it takes me probably, I mean, I didn't even spend from there to there 5 minutes. Not even. Look, I'll go over it again. There's a little dust in there, whatever. I'll do with a 600 over it too. And then I normally go with water paper afterwards. But it's easy now because the thing's square and there's nothing sticking out. So it's going to just work better. And the interior now, all the cupboards and everything that we used to filament print is going to be resin printed now. So there's going to be a hell of a lot of detail in this thing. I think this might be the first one that you can take an hour and go over it and not see that it was printed, which is where we wanted to be in the first place. Right, dudes, It's late again. Oh yeah, before I go, let me just show you. I spoke to the guys earlier and I said to them, back in the good old days when I was young and pretty, I used to weather stuff for guys overseas. And there were no airbrushes. There were no funny business. There was no, oh, I got to have a 3,500 rand airbrush, and I need to wash, and I need to do this, and I need to do that, and I need to look at YouTube videos, 600 of them. No. This is all my old Americana paint, which was the best stuff that they ever put in a bottle, acrylics, washes, and dry brushing. I mean, the fading there is all dry brushing. You just mix a little bit of white in and, make it a bit lighter and then carry on. And I still maintain to this day that if you weather with a paintbrush and acrylics, you get texture that you do not get with an airbrush. They can tell me whatever they want. I can feel when I slide my hand over here, I can feel the dirt. It's got texture. And that's something you don't get with an airbrush. And the overall look of it, to my eye, is still better than you can do with any airbrush. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Only downside on it, it takes a day. I mean, I started early this morning with this thing, and I just finished it now. I mean, this is still all wet. I just put this in about 10, 20 minutes ago. So it's a whole day. I can't weather like this commercially. I just can't. It's just not viable. You can't sit a day with just weathering stuff. Because of the nature of it, you got to wait for the one layer to dry and then heat it with a second layer. Wait for that to dry and then put everything on top that you want to put on top, so that you get a nice layered effect. So yeah. Anyway, dudes, I'm gonna go. Right, you oaks must sleep tight, and we speak whenever. It's one more AY and I'm done with Yakus, and then it's just one for Ati, and then that order is finished, and I can start with the next batch of cement tankers. Okay, dudes. Speak later. Goed, tot ziens.